whole week. Today is going to be a wonderful time. And today we are delving deeper into C++. Yesterday, the main C++ training started. And today we are moving to a whole new level. I want to share my quiz so that we just get into the lesson right away. So I'm going to paste the link in the chat now. And I want you to start submitting your answers now. So let me share the link right now. And there we go. So click on the link and submit your answers. If the link is not working, copy it and paste it in your browser. If the link is not working, copy it and paste it in your browser. Submit your answers now, and let's do this. Today is going to be wonderful. Today, we are going to learn a whole lot. Let me share my screen and let's see the questions. All right, so the first question says, which of the following objects is a member of the STD namespace? We learned that the STD is a namespace. And under the STD, there are a number of objects. Which of the following objects is a member of the STD namespace? So we have A, we have cout, and B, we have cin, C, we have NL, and D, all of the above. Submit your answers now, and let's do this. Submit your answers. Which of the following is a member of the STD namespace? Let me turn to my slides. And today we'll be talking about C++ header files. C++ header files. Yesterday, I spoke to you about reusing code. In C++, we do reusing code. Sometimes we write code, and that code is not just meant for that particular software we are creating, but that code works like a library that we store for all other types of software. And so whenever we need that code in any other program we are creating, we will do what we call hash include, and we'll include that code into the new program. What will happen is that we'll save the code in a separate file. Then we will include it. Apart from that, C++ itself comes with a whole lot of libraries and header files in the compiler that you need to include to be able to get certain features in your program. Those header files, and it is going to be an eye-opener. All these are helping you to understand the language. Remember, the morning class have completed the module 1, and next Sunday they are starting module 2, and it has been a wonderful time in the morning class. Let's see how we are doing. Let's check the answers. I can see a number of you have answered. Please, let's all participate in this. Let's all participate. Don't be a spectator. Don't just come here and watch other people, but be part of it, because this is what is going to help you become a programmer. All right, so let's see the answers. And we have 11% saying it is cout. 11% are saying cout is a member of the STD namespace. And we have 89% saying it is all of the above. So cout, cin, and L are all members of the STD namespace. And that is really important. Anytime we create a C++ file, we know that we always do our hash include, and we include our IOStream. We also write using namespace std. Then we start our int main. And inside here, if we need a cout, we write our cout and we put in our message. Let's say hello world, we put it in here. Also, if you want a cin, we put in a cin and we take some information into storage. So before you can store anything, you need to create a variable. So let's say we have a variable here called string, and this string is taking first name. So this first name, hello world, let's say enter your first name. And so once we take that first name, we need to store it in the variable called first name. We'll be discussing all of this. Now, once we save this, let me just save it as std test.cpp. When you run this, you are going to see that it's going to work, and it's going to tell you that it's going to tell you to enter your first name. Hello world, enter your first name. And when you enter your first name, it's going to receive it. So it's working perfectly over here. If you can see it, it's working perfectly. Now, all of these are working. C out, NL, C in. They are working because of this line. This line right here. This line right here. That is why they are working. Now, we'll be talking about how this line also works with this line. But then, if we remove this line, watch what is going to happen. This particular object here, let me call it an object right now, is going to lose its color. This one will also lose its color. This will also lose its color. This will also lose its color. And that tells you that they are all part of the STD namespace, because after clearing the STD namespace, they are no longer recognized. So you can see that string just lost its color. Cout just lost its color. Cin just lost its color. NL just lost its color. So to get them back, we need to attach STD to them. And this means that they belong to STD. If you like, type something else, TDS, and see if it will work. If it works, fine. But it's never going to work because TDS is nothing. It's not a namespace. So we are talking about namespaces that are recognized. So I can't say, let me change it again and say DTS. DTS is not a correct namespace because it is not defined anywhere. Only STD has given color to them. So this will only work when I give it STD. And if you see the color change, that means it has worked. So now when I save, even though I didn't write using namespace STD, when I run this, I'm going to see that it's going to work the same way. It's going to work the same way. So it's asking for your name. It's perfect. It's working fine. So the question said, which of the following is a member of the STD namespace? And the correct answer is D. Cout is a member of the STD namespace. Very important. Cin is a member of the STD namespace. NL is also a member of the STD namespace. So you got it right. Let me give you the next question. And it says that the STD namespace is defined within the IOStream header file. Is it true, false, or you are not sure? I'll give you 1 minute to answer, and I will rush into my office and pick my board, my whiteboard, and I will explain some things to you. So just answer this now. And let's code. Okay, today is a beautiful day and we are just having fun. All right, I can see the answers coming in. Let me see how you are doing. I can see the answers. Let me show the answers and let's code. Beautiful. So we are talking about the STD namespace. I just told you that there's something called namespace. When you hear namespace and you don't understand, just think of a family name. So there's a family name called namespace. I'm sure you all have your family names, and in your family or the family name you bear, I don't think you are the only one who bears that family name. There are some strange families like that everyone bears a different surname. But a correct family should have a namespace, a family name, that every member of the family bears that name. So there's a family name called STD. We talked about it before. We saw the members of the STD. We learned that we have C out, C in, endl. We also have C error. We call it C, ERR, C error, and a number of objects in C++. The next question is saying that this STD namespace, where is it defined? Is it defined in the IOStream header file? We have 82% saying yes, it is true. It is defined in the IOStream header file. And we have 18% saying it is false. It is not defined in the IOStream header file. Let's just prove it right now. And over here, we can see that this code is running. Let me just make it easier for us to understand. Let me put system CLS here. And this system CLS will just clear the screen so that you can see much clearly. So this system CLS, when I run it, you can see that this code is working. It's a working code. It's a working code. Again, the morning class had the examination this morning, and it was wonderful, wonderful. They had their first examination, and most of them did well. In the examination, we had multiple choice questions, and we also had coding questions. So there's a part that you need to write some code. All right, so let me put in the name, and you can see that it's working. This is a working program. Let me close it and watch this. Once I remove the IOStream, you will realize that STD is going to lose its power. You can see that string has gone back to white. C out has gone back to white. C in has gone back to white. Endl has gone back to white. And when I run this, I'm going to get an error. And the error is saying that, let me start from here. String is not a member of STD. Wait a minute. C out is not a member of STD. What are you talking about? Endl is not a member of STD. All right, because where STD is defined, we cannot find the definition, first of all. And number two, we cannot find this object within that definition. So the system is confused right now. Now, when IOStream comes back, you'll see that they will all start working. They will get their colors back. Wow. They will get their colors back. So now this tells you that the STD lives within the IOStream. So in the morning class, this is what I did. Let me just show you my screen and where's my marker. What I did in the morning class was that I brought my whiteboard. Sorry. And I talked about the IOStream. This IOStream, what is this? It's a header file. In C++, we deal with a number of header files. And it's very important for you to understand the importance of header files. The header file system makes a lot of sense to me because I've done a lot of web design and I've used so many header files. If you have a website, let's say the website of any university, this is a page. And we have the top where you see the banner and you see the links, the menus. You see homepage, you see about us, contact us, you see the links up there. Then here we have the body of the site. And then at the bottom here, you see the links again, and you see copyrights, so and so. This is how a typical website looks like. Now, let me explain something about websites to you. For most websites, more than 98% of websites, this part of the website always remains the same no matter the page you are on. When you click on About Us, you see this top section. We call this the header. This is exactly how we call it in web design. I don't know if you can see. Good. We call this the header. This section, we call this section the body. And this section right here, we call it what? The footer. Let me tell you, websites are just files. They are HTML files or PHP files that are stored on a computer. If you want the whole world to see, you put it on a server and the whole world will see. Every website has several pages. Let's take a typical website of a university. At least a university website will have about, let me just give you 150 pages. Every university website will have about 150 pages. Now, with these 150 pages, almost every page has the same header. And almost every page has the same footer. It is the body that changes every time. It is this body that changes every time. So when you click on the link, the body here will be different. Click on the next link, the body here will be different. But the header remains the same, the footer remains the same. Now the question is, if you are the designer of this website, are you going to design this header, which is the same 150 times? Is that what you are going to do? Are you going to design it 150 times? Maybe in the olden days, that's what you would have done. But today, we have better ways of creating websites. Creating the header 150 times is wrong. Even though it will work for you, it is wrong. We don't do that. Because when there's a mistake, you would have to open to 150 files and correct the mistake in all 150 files. So this is what we do. We design the header and store it in a file. Let's say we call it header.php. So this header here will be a separate file and it will be stored somewhere. Anytime we are designing anybody, we don't design the header, we use a code. That code is called include. You see, PHP is just like C++. Over here, you just write a code, include header.php. Once you write that code, it is going to fetch the header file and put it here. So all you do is to create a body because the body is a content and that will be different for each page. Footer, we treat it the same way. We have footer.php and we do include for footer. This helps a lot because if there has to be a change in any of the links, all you have to do is to open to header.php and edit once. As soon as you are done editing, it updates in all 150 pages. And I think that is the best way to create your website. Today, we are not talking about web design, but I pray that we get opportunity to do web design, because for me, web design is something else. I've done it too many times, and I've taught it too many times. As we speak right now, I have thousands of web design students. That same way when it comes to C++, we have certain files we call header files. The most popular one of them is what we call the IOStream. This IOStream, when you open it, there are several codes within it. And one section of the IOStream states the definition of the STD namespace. I'll prove it to you. So inside this IOStream, we have STD. This STD lives within the IOStream. So if IOStream does not exist, STD does not exist. Also, if STD does not exist, watch this, cout does not exist. Cin does not exist. C error, later I'll talk about C error, does not exist. Endl does not exist, and other ones we will learn as we advance. All of these, we call them objects. And guess what? They all live within STD. They are members of this family. They are members of the STD namespace. So without STD, they will all not work. But then STD also lives here. In C++, there is something we call the stream. And we'll talk about the stream. IOStream stands for input, output, stream. IOStream is the input-output stream. Apart from the IOStream, that is input-output stream, we have another stream dedicated to the input stream. So we call it IStream, please, not ice cream. IStream. This stands for input stream. We have OStream. This is output stream. We'll talk about other ones as well. So please keep this in mind, and I believe it has clarified certain things to you. Maybe this is the first time you are hearing about them, and so they should educate you, because this is how it works. Let me share my screen again. Let me share PC2. And what we are going to do today is amazing. We are going to prove the importance of namespaces, and we are going to prove how namespaces can be defined. And you yourself, you can create your own namespace. It's not just about using namespaces that already exist. You can also define your own namespace. So let me show you that. Then I'll continue with my slides. So I'm just going to take you to this screen and share my VS Code, Visual Studio Code with you. And let me put this one here. Beautiful. Over here, I'm just going to select File, New File. And of course, I need to select a language. and this is C++. I believe everyone can do this. I just opened to Visual Studio Code, went to File, New File, select a language, C++. Once you do this, you can choose to name your file, your project file, before you begin. That's what I want to do. Let me click on File and Save. I want to save first. And I'm going to save this in the 6th folder. And I'm going to call it supermarket.cpp. All right. Now, supermarket.cpp is ready for instructions. Now I'm going to write code for supermarket. The first line of code I'm going to write is this: hash include. This hash include, it is a command. We call it a preprocessor. What it does is that it actually tells the compiler to go and fetch or insert or add a file. So whenever you see hash include, a file will be called. You can call that file by putting it in double quotes and writing the name of the file. This is a file. You are done. You don't need a semicolon. Okay, so today you are seeing something different. It's possible to do it this way. But then, when it comes to system header files, this is how we call most of them. Like IOStream, this is how you have to call IOStream. It is the same. When it comes to header files that you define yourself, you would have to use the quotation marks like I just did. Let me click on File and Save to save changes and prove something to you. This IOStream is not just code. It is a file. When I right click and I select this, go to definition, watch what is going to happen. It is going to open a new tab. My supermarket is here, new tab here, and this is the IOStream file. This is the IOStream file. You can see a lot of comments here. This file is part of the GNU ISO C++ library. Whoa. When I go through this file, I'm going to start several definitions. This pragma, later you learn about it. And watch this. IOStream is also including other files within the IOStream. Watch this. It is including C++ config.h. It is including the O stream. It is including, and watch this, it is defining a namespace called std. So this is where the std lives. The std is defined within the IOStream. Right now, what you are seeing here means that the IOStream is a file. Let's check the std definition, and you can see that we have cin defined, cout defined, cl defined, clog defined, wcin, wcout, wcl, wclog. Whoa. This is a namespace where it ends. So the std namespace lives within the IOStream. How many lines of code? 80 lines of code. This means that to write your C++ program, you should have created or typed all this code or written all this It doesn't make any sense to do this every single time. So do you know what makes sense? The file has been created down, and all you have to do is include it. Now watch this. You think it is just 80. What I'm telling you here is that within these 80 lines of code, we have other includes within it. So this is multiple includes. When you include, the include will also include. What did it include? This is another file. Let's right click and go to definition. And you can see that, whoa, config.h is another serious file. It even has namespaces. This one has been commented out. And whoa, 200 lines of code, 300 already, 400 lines of code, 500, 600, 700, 800 lines of code, 900, 1,000 lines of code, over 1,000 lines of code right now. Whoa, wait a minute. Just config. Look at the codes it's having. So to create a C++ software, you should have done all this. You see, that is why C++ is easy, because all you have to do is to include some of these files. Once you include them, these codes are all in your program. Once you include them, these codes are all in your program. And all you have to do is to add the important things, the body, what you want to add. So creating a C++ program is really easy because of header files. Let's go back to IOStream. And we are going to see that we have other header files here, like the IOStream. Let's open to the IOStream. Now that the IOStream has opened, let's 100 lines of code, 200 lines of code, 300 lines of code, 400, 500. IOStream. Anytime I hear IOStream, it sounds like ice cream. I think I ate ice cream last week. That's why it's disturbing my mind. All right. So let's go through this. And this is interesting. The most interesting part of this, the most interesting part of what we are talking about is this. Look at the IOStream. Now, I just opened the IOStream and it has over 900 lines of code. Whoa. Let's go back to IOStream and watch this. When I right click here and I select Reveal in File Explorer, Reveal in File Explorer. When it opens, it is going to show you where the file is. Watch this. This is actually a file. I don't know if you can see this. This is actually a file. IOStream is a file without extension. C++ didn't bother to give it any extension like .txt, .dll, .exe. It didn't give it any extension. It just named the file and dropped it there in the compiler. Now, all these are header files. All the files you are seeing here. Sometimes when you start writing program, for example, our game, you realize that we included C time. I don't know if some of you remember the guess game we created, the mass guessing game, the random numbers guessing game. We use C time header. A time will come if you want to create certain programs, you'd have to include some of the headers you are seeing here today. You have to include some of them. This string, you'll be including string a lot. You can see string here. It's a file. Most of these header files, std library.h, you are going to use it a lot. All these are files. You see, IOStream is a file. Math.h. This math.h, you are going to be using math.h a lot. IOStream is here. IOStream is here. All these are header files. FStream. Yes, we have the FStream. cstd.io, cstd live. This one, we've been using this already. So all of these are files, header files, and they live within your compiler. And so if you need them, you just call them. Sometimes certain header files do not exist here, but you need to install them. For example, if you want to put graphics within your your console app, you need to include certain header files to be able to see graphics. So there are lots of header files. Sometimes you can create your own header file. Like this supermarket app, we are going to create our own file that we will include. So I'm going to create another file. Let me close IOStream and the IOStream. Still sounds like ice cream to me. I don't know why. All right. So I'm going to open to this and I'm going to create another file for this supermarket app we are about to create. So I'll go to File, New File, select a language, C++, and I'm going to save this. File and save. Please make sure you are following. This file here, I'm going to call it database.cpp. Just for experimental purposes, for you to see how files can be included. This database file, the idea behind it is that after creating this database, I'm going to use it for several apps. And so I don't want to define it within supermarket. I want to define it outside supermarket so that if supermarket also needs it, I will just include. So over here, watch this. I will do #include database.cpp. This is going to work because I have created this file and I have saved it. If you go to where I saved it at the same place where supermarket already also exists. That is why when I was calling it, I just called it like that. I didn't specify any folder. As for IOStream, it is in the compiler. So once you write it this way, the compiler will find it. But files that you create, you need to specify the location. If it is saved exactly where your main file is, then you don't need to specify any location. So this is valid. This is going to work. Now, watch what is going to happen now. Right now, let's write our using namespace std. We already know, okay, you let me know, start it now. Let's just do our int main. Please, I believe you are following. Let's pay attention. Our int main here, our return 0 here. We learn about why we return 0. We have system CLS here. And then watch this. We have our cout. And this cout, we want to see out welcome message, which is a variable. We'll learn about variables next week. Okay, this welcome message I'm trying to see out. It's supposed to be a variable. Right now, if I try running it, I'll get a big error because it is not defined. Even cout here, it is not defined. Let me put std here before cout will work. But this welcome message is still not known because it is not declared anywhere. When I run this code, I'm going to hear that this, let me run it, and we are going to hear that welcome message is not declared. So it says that welcome message was not declared in this scope. I believe you can all see this. So the question is, okay, so what can we do? I can just declare it here, but I want to prove something to you. And so I'm going to go within the database and declare this welcome message so that you will see how a code in, or how code in a different file will work in a different file because it has been included. So I'm coming here. This is blank. I'm going to define it here. So I'll just say std string is a string variable. We'll learn what string means. So I'll say welcome underscore msg is equal to welcome to Bitmart Supermarket. So our supermarket is called Bitmart Supermarket. Let me just put endl here, new line here. Okay, now this has been defined in another file. Here it is not defined, but that file has been included. Let's run it again and see if it will work or not. If it works, we are supposed to see welcome to Bitmart. You see, it worked. So including works a lot. Including works a lot. In the next few minutes, I'll create a namespace for you to see, but I want to take a question. I saw a hand up. If you have a question, raise your hand and we will call you and you answer, you ask your question. All right. I think there are no more questions. I see one hand up. And because of time, usually I would like to finish my quick presentation, then I'll take the question. So Mary, go ahead and ask your question so that I can help you right now.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you, Prof, for the lecture.
You're welcome.
Prof, I've been following as you type, but at my hash include, I see these red lines under. When I try to go to the definition as you were doing, they said I can't go to definition because no definition found for this, for include. And I got the message that please update your include path. Squiggles are disabled for this translation unit. Is there a problem from my computer or what's the problem?
All right. Do you see this often?
No, this is my first time because yesterday I didn't see this.
Okay, so you just save your file and close the program and open it again. I think it should be fine.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to create a supermarket app, and this supermarket app I'm going to create is going to fetch data from a database. Already you've seen that the database is working because this variable here does not exist anywhere in this code, but because the database is included, it is being pulled from this database file. That means the database is already responding. All right, so over here, let me add certain things here to make my database complete. It's just a simple thing. Now, to do that, I want to put everything within my namespace. So here, watch me. I'm going to create a namespace. How do we create a namespace? Just type the word namespace and then give the name you want to assign to your namespace. I'm creating this InfoSource. Open your body, the curly brackets, and at the end of everything, you close your curly bracket. So within the body here, your namespace is going to be defined. Let me bring the curly bracket down. So this is the body of the namespace. I just created a namespace. Creating a namespace is very simple. Just type namespace and the name you want to give. Now, inside my namespace, so I come here and say int products from our quantity. Next week, we'll learn about creating variables. Without variables, you can never write a C++ program. If you don't know anything about variables, you can't create a program. So we need to learn about variables. All these lines are for variables. I'm creating another variable here called a string variable, and I'm calling it products underscore lists, product list. And I'll say that we sell the following products. We sell the following products. And here, I'm not bringing my semicolon because I'm not done typing. So I'll come here, new line, milk, space, new line, 2, Milo, space, new line, 3.
Hello, Professor.
Lipton. Hello.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. We had some participants raise their hands and some also had a message in the chat. And so if you can please refer and then see how best we can help that.
All right. All right. So just a sec. Let me put this one here, then we'll attend to that. So here we have a new line number 4, which is sugar. New line 5, bread. New line. And then the last line I'll put here, I'll say select an option to buy. Then I'll bring my semicolon. So everything here is considered as one line, but this is how I chose to write the code. All right, so let me attend to our lovely participants. Please, I can't see any hand up. If you have an issue, raise your hand again and let me sort you out. Usually, because we have just 1 hour, I want to do my presentation, and afterwards, I can take questions, because if I'm stuck in the middle, we may not be able to cover what we need to cover in the day. So it says...
Okay, Professor, so I think Peter said I'm lost to Prof. So Peter, if you can hear us, maybe you can communicate to Professor where you got lost. We see whether we can find you in the jungle or not.
Peter, raise your
but
hand.
I'm sure we can find you.
Peter, okay. So Peter, raise your hand and let's enable you. Now, all we are doing here is that we are creating a supermarket app. You know, these days, all supermarkets use software to sell. So we are creating a software for a supermarket. And the supermarket has a database, and the database is going to feed the app with a list of products so that customers can select their products they wish to buy, and the system will tell them how much it costs and how much they have to pay at the end of their purchase. All right, so Mary, just write your code and run it. If you run and it works, I think it's fine for now. That is not any problem that should hold us back. So just run your code. If you run and it works, don't worry. We'll have several times to check the definition of the IOStream. All right, so let's continue. So here we are just including our database, and in our database we have a number of variables here. I'll finish very soon and I'll take your questions and I will answer you. Yes, I'll put all the answers together. I think I'm working like teacher A, a compiler. So let me finish so that we don't get stuck in the middle. So when I ask your question, I'll try my best and locate where you got stuck, and I will help you. Yes. So right now, the issues you may be having is because we've not learned about variables. So you need to know variables. Next week we are doing variables. Next week we are starting coding for our project work. We'll be, as for STD, we've talked about STD. Today we are dealing with namespaces. So we'll talk about variables and other things from next week. So what I'm about to create here, this float you are seeing, it is a data type for a variable. It means I'm about to define a variable. This variable, I'll call it milk underscore price. Milk underscore price. So I'll give a price to milk. Let me call milk 4.5. That is the price of milk, and it is a float variable. Next week, we'll know why it has to be float and not int like this. So let me find Milo underscore price. How much should Milo cost? A tin of Milo should cost like 14 cedis, 50 pesos. Then we have floats, Lipton underscore price. And you know, every supermarket app has code like this that the programmer wrote. So this is a supermarket app that is a simple one that is giving us an idea of what goes on in the apps that are used in Malcolm and all the other supermarkets in the country. All right, so Lipton, how much do they sell Lipton? Let me call it 7 cedis, 50 pesos, it's okay. Then, let me make it 5 cedis, 50 pesos. Then we have float, sugar price. Sugar, how much should sugar cost? And maybe the box one should be like how much? Let me give it 18 cedis. 18 cedis is fine. Then float, bread price, and bread, I'll just call bread 10 cedis or 14 cedis. All right. So I'm done with my database. So this database is giving us a list. And it's also giving us the prices of those products. So milk is telling us the milk price. Milo is telling us Milo price. Lipton is giving us Lipton price. Sugar price. Bread price. If we add more products, we need to add more prices because each product needs a price. I'm done with my database. In my supermarket app, I have already included the database, and so everything within the database is already working here. Now, do you remember that this welcome message worked before? It worked. We all saw it. This time when I run it, it's not going to work. Let's see what will happen. We are going to get an error saying welcome message does not name a type. Okay. Why is it not working? It is not working here because over here, I have moved the welcome message into a namespace. So the welcome message is now living under a namespace. It is in the body of the InfoSource namespace. That is why it's not working. If I move it outside the namespace, it is going to work. And so we can say that welcome message is now a member of the InfoSource namespace. Just as cout is a member of the STD namespace. When they were creating the STD namespace, this is exactly how they created it. So when you check the IOStream, you see that the STD namespace is defined here. And under STD, we have our CIN and COUT. They are within the STD. If you bring them outside the STD, maybe they are going to work without the STD. So here, for my welcome message to work in this code, I need to come here, watch this, and say InfoSource : I told you that if you want to call a namespace, just type the name of the namespace and bring : When you do that, you call that namespace. Now that I have called a namespace for this welcome message, let's see if it will be recognized now and it will work. Let's see. Welcome to Bitmap Supermarket. You see that it is working. So for it to work, just as cout needs STD, welcome message needs our own InfoSource, which we created. When I put the mouse on it, you see namespace InfoSource. When I put the mouse on this, you see namespace STD. Let me be fast so that I can take a lot of questions and help you all come to the same page. All right, so this is here. Over here, I need another STD out and another InfoSource product list. I need another STD in, and I'll store this in products. This product doesn't even exist. It exists in InfoSource, so it has to be InfoSource products. Okay. Products, not products. Okay. Then I need another STD out. Just follow. Everything will make sense very soon. Quantity. Then I need another STD in and store this in InfoSource quantity. All right. So now you can see this. And this is correct. This will work. But this looks so clumsy and some way. So I think let's do away with the STDs. Now, once we do away with the STDs, you see that they will lose their color. That means they are not going to work. So I'm going to clear the STDs. There are too many. Let me clear all the STDs. And once I clear the STDs, they are all not working, but I need someone to tell me what I can do to make all of them work. So if you know what to do here, tell me. We are all learning programming now. What can I do to make all of these objects? We call them objects. How can I make all of these objects work? Okay, I can see Solomon. I can see Mary. Let me call Solomon. He was first. Okay, so Solomon, tell us what we can do to make all these objects come to life. Yes, unmute yourself, Solomon.
Prof.
Yes.
Yeah, so we can include the database, and then when you start calling them, it will come.
Okay, the database is already included. I'm talking about C out, C in, these objects here. Why are they not working? What can we do to activate all of them at once, make them come to life?
Okay, so we call the namespace.
Excellent, 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 excellent. So over here, right at the top here, just type this, watch this, using namespace. Now you know that it is a namespace. What is the name of the namespace? It is STD, column, semicolon. So using namespace, and when I did that, you can see that, whoa, they've all gotten their colors back. Now they are all going to work. Okay, let me run and see if we'll see our welcome message. No error. Okay, so here, nested, expected, okay. Okay, so over take it here. You see, whenever there's an error in your code, it means you didn't do something right. So check your code again. So let's see. Whoa, it's working. We can see bitmap. Okay, that means everything is fine. It feels tiring to be typing InfoSource every time. So what can I do? Watch this beautiful part. I told the morning class that if we're recording an advert, this will be the moment of the advert. I'm going to remove all this InfoSource, and I'm going to ask someone to tell me what we can do to bring all these InfoSource members back to life. Who can tell me what we can do? Who can tell me what we can do? Raise your hand. I can see Mary. I don't know if it's a new hand or an old hand. Let me enable Mary, and if she's new, she can just tell us. What can we do to bring
old and new, old and new.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Bro, I think we have to declare the InfoSource in the body.
Okay. Where do we do that?
Under the int main.
Okay. Now, InfoSource, watch this. InfoSource resides within this database. If you go into the database, you see InfoSource there. So because the database has been included already, InfoSource is already included. But why is InfoSource not working for these members? Now, when I had InfoSource like this, they were working. You see that they will all be colored now. Once they are colored, it means they are working. But when I remove InfoSource, now they all lose their colors and they are not working. What can I do to bring all of them back to life? And by doing so, it is going to help us to get any of them without typing InfoSource every single time. Okay, Solomon, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So we call the using namespace database.
Okay, now watch this. Watch this. When you type using namespace, watch this. So this is the advert part. Using namespace, you are not typing database, you are typing InfoSource. Once you say using namespace InfoSource, they will all come back to life, because they are all members of the InfoSource namespace. If you don't want to do this, what you need to do is to type InfoSource every single time, colon, colon. Type InfoSource every single time, colon, colon. Type InfoSource every single time, colon, colon. Type InfoSource every single time, colon, colon, before they will work. But if you want to do away with the InfoSource, you just have to come here and put this line here, using namespace InfoSource, and they will all come to life. This is beautiful. Please, this is where you need to get this. These objects here, they live within STD. If I don't declare using namespace STD, I would have to come here and type STD every single time. Type STD every single time. Type STD every single time. Type STD every single time before they will all work. But to do away with STD, all I have to do is to come here and say using namespace STD, and it will activate all of them. Because once you declare it up here, STD will be recognized in the entire program. And anytime you bring any member of STD, you don't have to type STD before it. Watch this. STD lives within IOStream. I explained it to you on my board. That same way, InfoSource lives within this database. If you clear the database, InfoSource will no longer make sense to the program. If you clear IOStream, STD will no longer make sense. That is why everything here has lost color. Even though using namespace STD exists, using namespace InfoSource exists, nothing here will work because they all come from these header files. Today we are talking about header files. Let me add some small code so that our supermarket will work, and we'll test it, and I'll take your questions. All right, so here I'll say if product is equal to 1, if product is equal to 1, tell them something. Tell them that new line product is milk, new line and tell them that unit cost is Ghana cedi milk price. New line. And how do I bring new line and at the same time? Anyway, then tell them again that total cost is Ghana cedi, milk price times, asterisk is for times, quantity. Okay, so this is where I'll have my, over here, I don't need the endl here. But over here, let me just bring endl twice. That's okay. All right. So if they select milk, this should happen. Let's test this and see what will happen. Under here, I'm going to put system cost and return to main. All right, so all these things we are going to learn them. So let me run it and see. I've only activated for product 1. That means if the product is milk, it will work. I've not written code for the rest, but after I test it and it works, I'm going to write code for all the rest. So when the program starts, okay, quantity, I made a mistake. Any mistake you make will affect your compiling. All right. Okay, why are we getting 0 here? Welcome this product. Welcome message. Product list. Okay, so where is the 0 coming from? String product list. Okay. So here we say, oh, okay. So over here, I get it. Here would have been product lists. Beautiful. Sorry, let me run this again and you see. All right, so we are going to get welcome to Bitmart supermarket. I'm sure you've all seen this. And it's saying we sell the following products: 1 milk, 2 Milo, 3 Lipton, 4 sugar, 5 bread. They all came from the database. Select an option to buy. Let's type option 1. Okay, so enter your quantity. How many would you want to buy? Let's say you want to buy 12 tins of Milo. So we are going to say product is milk. Okay, milk, not Milo. Unit cost is 4.5 and total cost is this. Do you want to continue? Yes. What do you want to buy? Milk. Quantity, how many? I want to buy 23 pieces. Okay, milk, product is milk. Unit cost is 4. Total is 103.5. So that's how much you are paying. Please go ahead and bring your money now. Okay, let me add the other products to it. Now, I've created an if here. We'll be doing a lot of ifs. I'm going to say else if, because I'm doing else if, I'm going to copy. I'm going to tell you that in programming, we do a lot of copy and paste. But then anytime we do copy and paste, we do meticulous editing. Because when you paste something, you're only pasting because what you're about to do is similar. But after pasting, you need to go through and make a lot of changes. So here, the second product is not milk. Our second product is supposed to be Milo. So over here, we'll come here and change the second product here. Over here, second product is Milo. So we'll change this. If it is 2, we'll have Milo here. And here, instead of milk price, it's supposed to be Milo price. Here, Milo price, and we are done. Third product is Lipton. So we come here, we type Lipton. Okay, here, instead of milk price, we'll say Lipton price. Here, we'll say Lipton price. Let me just copy this and paste. In programming, we do a lot of copy and paste. Just I have to know exactly what you are doing. Now, fourth product is sugar and the fifth is bread. So here, product 4. Okay, so if product is 3, we are using the if as a condition. If product is 3, Lipton. If product is 4, then it is sugar. Instead of milk price, we'll say sugar. Copy and paste. And then if product is 5, then it's going to be red, of course. And here will be red price, paste. We are done. We are done with the whole supermarket software. All right, let's run it and see how it's going to work. Okay, what do you want to buy? I think I want to buy Lipton today. Number 2, quantity. I need 5 boxes. Okay, Milo. I selected 2, not 3. So 2 is supposed to be Milo. Okay, fine. I like Milo. So Milo 5. So product is Milo. Unit cost is 14.5. Total, this is how much you are paying. Press any key to continue. What do you want to buy? Let me buy Lipton now. And I need 5 boxes. So Lipton 5. Total is this. Press continue. Any key to continue. I want sugar now. Please give me sugar. I think 2 boxes will be okay. 36 cedis, okay. And give me bread. Okay, how many can I eat? Let me buy 7. Whoa, that is it. So this is a supermarket app and it's going to work every time. It's going to work every time. It's going to work for you every time. So I'm done with my. So I believe you've learned a thing or two. I couldn't take you through my slides, but I think you've learned something. So if there's any question, time to ask your question and I'll answer you. But please, this week, it has just been fundamentals of programming and some certain things to just whet your appetite. We are still delving deep. We are learning. The morning class have completed module 1 already. Today, we had our examination and it was incredible. God willing, in 2 weeks' time, the evening class will also have examination and presentation. The morning class have completed their project work and now we are moving on to module 2. So that is it. Any question? Any question? Any question? Okay, I can see Franklin Kuma. Please go ahead, unmute yourself and speak to us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have a problem with a code I'm developing, but I cannot see the command button on my how do you call it, on my laptop. The run I am seeing is the one that is at the top here. When you want to do this in the file, edit, selection view, go run. But the one at the right hand side, I cannot see it on my PC. Is there any help?
So what I can do is to let you share your screen with us so that we can help you. So please, I want you to go ahead and share your screen.
Oh, Professor.
Yes.
What I'm talking about is not on the screen right now, so I cannot see it. Not what you are doing now is what I am doing. Something that I am doing separately in the afternoon. So I have even I call Dr. Pedri, and has given me some of these things, but then I think the run button I cannot find it.
Okay. Yes, that's what I wanted to show you. So
Okay.
if you can still share your screen, I'll be able to show you. Don't worry at all. We are still learning C++.
Prof, sorry, I cannot share it now.
Okay. I wanted to show you what to do. All right, let's take the next person. We have Mary. Unmute yourself and speak.
Prof, please, your code. If we can get it on the chat at WhatsApp so we can practice, because time is fast spent. We don't want you to share again.
For sure, I'll share the code, the entire code in the WhatsApp. I'll share everything.
For the and the database code too.
I'll share both of them.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. So, okay, Montari. I can see Montari. Okay, go ahead and speak, Montari.
Prof, I also wanted to say same as Mary did, but then I want to add I couldn't follow where you with the if product where you copied. Yeah, I couldn't get that part of it.
All right. So, like I said yesterday, when you create an app, you don't know what the user would like to do. For example, this particular app, we don't know what the user would like to buy. So we use if, and then we write commands for every possible action. So we say that when the list comes, if the user selects one, then this information should appear. Else, if the user selects two, this information should appear. The information is what is in, or the instruction is what is in this curly braces.
And Professor, please, I can't see your screen.
Oh, sorry. Let me do that now. All right. Now, when the program launches, there's going to be a list of products for the user to choose. And here we are saying that we don't know what the user would like to choose. You know, when you are using a software, you control the software. Even though someone programmed it, you, the end user, you decide what you want to do with it. If you open to VLC, do you want VLC to force you to watch a movie that they like? No, you want to watch what you want. Microsoft Word will not force you to create a document that they want. You have to do what you want. So in programming, you have to consider several actions and write code for everyone. Anything you don't write code for will not work in your program. So we said if the user selects one, this code should run. Else if. Now, else if is tied to this if. It's not an if on its own. So we are saying that else if it is 2, that means they are all options and the user cannot select multiple. Else if it is 2, they should work. Else if it is 3, they should work. Else if it is 4, they should work. Else if it is 5, they should work. Simple. So what I did was that after creating this if, because the rest are similar, I copied this and then I wrote my else and I pasted. The next one I copied from else if. In programming, we do a lot of copy and paste. So you should learn how to position your finger on the Control and C. We use the keyboard, Control C, Control V. We do it a lot. But what I said is that we are very careful whenever we are doing that because we know exactly what we are doing. We don't make mistakes like that. So if you want to type something like, let's say there's milk price and there's something called Milo price. Instead of typing Milo price, you can just copy milk price and paste it somewhere and just edit it Milo price. You are done. Look at the number of seconds it took. But if you were to type it, you would have wasted time. Sometimes this Milo price, you need it 5 times. All you do is to paste, and just go edit. And even after editing the first one, just copy, paste, you are done. We use our keyboard, Control C, Control V. We use them all the time. And I hope this is a little bit clear. But then we've not gotten to ifs. We are going to have a study on ifs. Today's study is actually about namespaces and STD and header files. So we are going to learn everything. This int, we'll learn about it. This main, we'll learn about it. Even semicolons, we'll learn about them. So don't you worry. Make sure you register for this course. Let me tell you, the 100 cedis you are paying is very, very affordable. It's something that will not take anything from you, but what it will bring to you will be something that will last for so long. I'm telling you, 20 years from today, you'll remember this bootcamp because what is in it, by the time we are done, you will know that this is where you got your programming skills from. So thank you very much. I think, Solomon, let's hear you, then we'll wrap up. Solomon, are you there?
Yes, Prof.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Prof, I'm saying that those of us who use the code blocks,
Yes, please.
how are we able to create the different namespace you created?
Okay, so the database file, make sure you save it at the same location where the supermarket file is saved. Once it is saved there, inside supermarket, write the code to include that database. Then in the database, define your namespace within the database. Simple. The namespace exists within the database.
Prof, you're a bit technical.
What I'm saying is that the database file, that is where we type our namespace InfoSource. Can you see it here on my screen?
Yes, Prof.
What you are seeing is inside database.cpp. So this database is a file you create yourself. Just type this code within it. Then in supermarket, just write this line to include that file. It's like writing a file somewhere and you are calling the file, inserting the file. You are including it. So create a new file and call it database and include it. That's it.
All right, Prof. Thank you.
All right, let's take the last person. Leah, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Prof.
Good evening.
Back to the supermarket file.
Okay.
You've given us a code that allows us to access each product at a time. But I wanted to know if there's a code that I can write. I can access about 5 items, 6 items, all at a go.
Okay, I want to get you very clearly. You are talking about the if block I have here, which gives instructions for each product.
Yes. So let's say I don't
Okay,
want
so
one at I don't want milk right now.
Milo.
I want Milo, I want Lipton,
Beautiful.
I want yes.
I get it.
All at the same
I
time.
get it.
Yes.
I get it.
Okay.
So for that to be possible, we need to write more code for that.
Okay. Okay.
This supermarket, we about includes header files, namespaces, and STD.
Okay.
The main project work we'll be doing for module 1 will be done in 2 weeks' time. We are going to create something similar, just like you are talking about. And once you get a result, let's say if you buy milk, you can add to milk.
Yes,
So
exactly.
over here, if we want to continue We can write code that allows the user to add more products. It's not
Okay.
just about buying milk and you are done. After buying, we can give you the option. Do you want to buy more? You can add. When you are done, then you know your grand total and you pay for it. We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just need code for that. So don't worry, by the time we are done with module 1, I'm sure you can create a full supermarket app. This is just a simple, a basic one.
Okay. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So, Brother Peddy, can you close us? If there's any announcements.
All right. Thank you so much, Prof. And once again, good evening to everybody. It's been great having us for the very first week, the free trial version of the evening session. And so by the end of today's meeting, by the time we sign out, I want to believe you are fully convinced that this is a program you want to be part of, a program you want to continue and not stop here. I received a testimony this afternoon. Somebody called me from the morning session and said he made payment for only week 2 and 3 with the mind that he wanted to see whether we're serious about this thing and to see whether it's really worth the money we're calling for, even though it was not expensive, but he wanted to be sure that what he's calling for or what he's paying for is worth it. Now he knows that this is not a child's play, this is not gimmicks, but InfoSource Institute is very, very serious about what we are doing, and we are offering nothing but the very best at a very cheap price. And so I just want to encourage all of us. You could be doing a weekly payment, but then there is that option to do a one-time payment for the rest of the 13 weeks. So you can do payment for week 2 to week 14, and instead of doing a 130 Ghana cedis, you can just do 100 Ghana cedis with a discount of 30 Ghana cedis. So if you do that one-time payment, it takes you through the whole of the C++ Coding Bootcamp Season 1. But if you pay for week 2 and then we get to week 3, you can't do a one-time payment again. That is not one time. That is like 2 times. And so it'll be 2 installments. So I want to encourage you to do your full payment before we zoom into Sunday, because come Sunday, the lobby would be engaged fully. This is not to disqualify anybody, but once we don't have your name as part of those who have made payments, we will not be able to allow you into the meeting. And so again, if you are paying, we'll be sharing the payment details right now on the platform. If you are paying, please make sure you reference it, your name, and I mean the name with which you used to log in. Currently, let me use an example. I see Muntari Dawuda. So if you are doing your payment, reference it Muntari Dawuda. Then you can add week 2 to 14. If that's what you want to do, week 2 to 5, if that's what you're paying for. I see Leah, for instance. So if Leah should add another name, perhaps we don't have that name here. So we can, I might see Leah, but if it's Leah something, I can admit her into the meeting. So if it's just the Leah you're going to use as a here, then it means that your reference to will also be Leah. Then week, let's say 2 to 14 in that order. So I want to encourage all of us. Let's start right after this meeting. You can start doing your payments, and Charlie, you are good to go, because there are deeper things we are doing. For we in the morning session today, we wrote our exams, and it's real. I mean, everything is in real time. So make sure you are part of this train, and there is no regret you're going to receive anytime. No, no regrets at all, not even one. The link for today's meeting, the recorded version, will be shared again. You can go through all of what we have done this week. All the links were shared. We'll put all of them together again as one message. So you have week 1 to week 1, day 1 to day 6. You have all the links. You can just click, watch it online, or download it, so you can go through all we have done in this week, preparing yourself for week 2. And so if you still have any challenge, let's engage the WhatsApp platform, and then those questions will be resolved. Now, for those of us who will be doing payment, let me see. Once we do payment, because all of us are going to do payment. Once we do payment, will be migrated to a Telegram page designated for evening session. And that is where we'll be doing every other thing that we ought to do, tech support, sharing our slides, and then all of that. So please be in the known that once you pay, we're going to do a migration from WhatsApp to Telegram. That doesn't mean you should step out of the Telegram page, the WhatsApp page. You can just still be there, but most of the things you'll be doing would be on the Telegram page. All right. So if there's any other question, because we are signing out, you could please WhatsApp it, and then administrators will try and sort you out. Thank you very much. So I see Professor is sharing the slides, but I'm sure he'll be sharing the whole file on the WhatsApp platform as well. So you could have access to it. All of Professor's slides are very self-explanatory, and so you can just go through, and if there's still a question you have to ask, Professor is ready and available for you to do so. On that note, let's receive Professor's final words, and then we can move.
All right. So I want to thank you all for joining us. It has been a wonderful 1 week with you, and I'm just hoping that we will all meet again next week to start our project work. So we'll start writing code on Sunday. We'll begin the project on Sunday, and it's going to be amazing. Please take this as an opportunity to learn your programming skills. There is nothing more respectable in IT than coding. I know networking is attractive, system administration is attractive and all that, but coding is the best. So learn this and let people know that you're a programmer, and it will change your status. It will improve upon your intelligence and will make you better, give you more opportunities. So please, let's do this. Let's do this. C++ is an AI programming language, and Google uses C++ in their AI systems. Opportunities are usually disguised as hard work, so most people don't recognize them. So we are going to work hard, and it's an opportunity for you and for us here at InfoSource. Again, we want to thank you, and I will see you next week, next Sunday and next week, and we are going to move to a whole new level. Thank you very much, and good evening.
So thank you, Prof. Thank you so much. Before I finally sign out, please permit me to do this. I want to receive just two people, say one gentleman and one lady. Tell us what your experience have been this week, and then what we are expecting for next week. So anybody who is ready to speak can just raise his or her hand, and then we'll call you. Just share with us what your experience has been for the first 3 weeks and what your expectation is for next week. Okay, so I see Mary's hand. Okay, Mary, please unmute yourself and you can please talk to us, Mary.
Thank you very much, InfoSource. I had programming for a long time. I thought it was a very big course to do, and it involves those who are deeper into IT. That's what my mind was all about. So in my first year in my university, I thought programming is a very big course that it needs much thinking to do. But with the help of InfoSource for the first week, I think I've been able to gather that it's not a hard thing to do. Just study and just follow suit as our lecturers are doing. So I think it's been a good one. I'm hoping that next week I'll be able to be code, and whilst I'm sleeping, I'll be coding in my mind, and when I wake up, come to my laptop and just be typing. And that's
Wow.
what I'm expecting next week. Thank you very much.
Powerful. I mean, we really appreciate that, those beautiful words from you regarding this program. After our first week, what I shared as my comment was that I felt like I could program for Amazon, Google, and then Charlie, because the thing was going me. And I think you are sharing almost the same thing. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's Brother Peter, please unmute yourself and let's hear you. Brother Peter.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Okay, my experience for this first week, well, probably one now before I was joining, I was thinking I don't have the apparatus, this laptop and things, so let me just join and see what goes on here. So as I joined the first lesson and I joined the second and the third, or I realized this is even pushing me to get even the biggest laptop to program the world. Like it's this program is amazing. Like I'm very much interested in this program. It's very much helpful. I'll recommend it to a lot of friends, Yeah. So I've had a great experience with professor also encouraging us with motivational words, Charlie. It's a whole big deal. So
Wow.
yeah, that is all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, namesake. He said he feels like programming for the whole world. Wow, Charlie, this your expectation is serious, eh? Prof, once again, thank you very much for this vision and then for driving it this hard. And the impact is so great. We can all feel it. I mean, this is just the first season of it. And I can tell that by the time we get into the second season and then running other programs like the Oracle, the SQL, and all of that, InfoSource become a household name for not only people in Ghana, but we do in West Africa, and then the world at large. All right, so I called for 2 people, but I see an extra hand. Brother Charles, let me unmute, allow you. Okay, so please unmute and then talk to us, please. Brother Charles, let's have the final word from you.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, boss.
Yes, for me personally, this program has really saved me a lot. First, I used to stay out quite late, but now whenever I close from work, I just rushed home and
wow,
learning a lot.
Praise the Lord.
And it's
wow,
saving me much. I can keep my money in my pocket now, and it's good. It's good to yes.
Praise the Lord.
Thank you.
wow, Brother Charles, this is a powerful one. Please, the money you are saving, my number is 024658323. You can send it to me.
Mine is 0242185664.
Brother Charles, thank you so much for those
Yeah,
kind words
nice
from you.
weekend, everyone. We should keep practicing. We'll get it.
That's right. That was going to be my final word. You've ended it for me. Let's keep practicing. Let's be consistent with the meetings. Don't miss the meetings. If by chance you miss it for any good reason, make sure you get the recorded video and then you follow. Don't opt out. Don't think that you can't do it. You can do it, and you can even do it better than you think you can do. All right. On this beautiful note, thank God it's Friday. It's a weekend. We're going into Saturday. Sunday, we are meeting, not Monday. Sunday, we are meeting. That's when we're starting the second week. So, Saturday, when you sleep, waking up Sunday, once it's Sunday, we're meeting. The morning session is also going on. We'll be moving into week 4, whilst the evening session is going into week 2. And so, it's a back to back. It's getting more interesting and then more fulfilling. And so, let's meet next week. Just make sure you are doing the Momo like nobody's business. I mean, even though there's a discount for those who want to do from the second to the 13th, 14th week, being 100 Ghana cedis, as the recommendations are coming and people are so much in love with this, we don't mind you choose to do $1,000. I mean, you just want to give that for InfoSource. You want to do, 200, 500, 1,000 CDs. I mean, Charlie,
Praise
we
the
are open.
Lord.
This time, Mary, this one you have said, praise the Lord. I'm expecting 1,000 Ghana cedis from you because I see you are really enjoying this program. Thank you very much. So we call it a night. Have a good night's sleep. And we wake up with great ideas, great visions, thinking of how to solve international problems with our programming that we are learning that will make your name a household name. Have a wonderful night and a sound sleep. Bye-bye.